I said, who won? And he said, you're not going to believe it. Like, he said, Joel Gertner was picking the wings up, putting them in his mouth and pulling just the bones out. And I guess he ate like 75 wings or something. And he won. He beat Big Dick and Bubba and all the rest of them.
We'll go to the opening match. Joey Styles welcomes us to the show. His microphone sound is coming through the PA, so you can barely hear him. At least the version I watched. I watched a WWE Network version you had. I sent you, after I'd watched the Network version, I sent you the one with the original music and everything. So anyway, ECW Tag Team Champions, the Dudley Boys, and Sign Guy Dudley, who was Louis dangerously afterwards, and Joel Gertner interrupts, and the belts. This is immediately what I noticed when I watched this. The belts were the tag belts, the old WWF Intercontinental knockoff belts that they just probably like scrawled in pencil, Tag Team Champions or something, and they made it out of like silver instead of gold.
Yeah.
I've got it here. It just says, "Give me a story on Joel Gertner." I know he listens to, or he did listen, I think, to the Dutch Mantel show. So I think hopefully he still listens. But yeah, a Joel Gertner story. Why not?
Joel came into the dressing room. He was very, very young, right? Obviously you could look at him and see that he was not an athlete. But we started hearing these stories, and I can't say that I've ever confirmed any of them, but I'd heard, and I forget if it was from Paul or somebody in the dressing room, that he was in the Ivy League. He had come out of one of the Ivy League schools, hadn't graduated. He quit to come work for ECW, which I think is a pretty big testament to his commitment to the business. He's phenomenal on the microphone, phenomenal in building the heat and doing it in a way that's entertaining. It's not, mine's sort of a way of more pissing you off. His was a way that draws you into the story, and there's going to be some punchline at the end that has you slip on the banana peel. And the little euphemisms, the well, and all of that. It was so different in ECW. It was such a different style that, putting him out there and then with the neck brace on, and, the body that he had then, and his young baby face, it's so lent itself, because he did come across like that guy. Like, he's going to lecture you, but he's going to give it to you in euphemisms and these stories that sort of draw you in. And when talking to him, you can tell that he's an extremely intelligent guy. Joel has always. He was never, nobody in the dressing room was like the ass kissing guy that came in, I'm going to kiss ass and get ahead here. But Joel was sort of like in the dressing room and like sort of knew his place. And I know that sounds sort of condescending, but in the wrestling dressing room, there is always a hierarchy, right? And so you come in and you realize that you're the guy that, okay, time for you to sit over there and be quiet and listen, pay attention and learn. And then a time to start coming forward. And Joel came in and sort of just seamlessly fit into that. We have when we did the 97 pay-per-view in Pittsburgh, there was in my hometown of New Brighton, Pennsylvania, there's a place called, let me think of it, McGuire Home. McGuire Home is it's not a hospital. I guess it's a care home, a convalescence home for children who have very serious disabilities.
I was going to say we'd just call it a naughty boys home, but no, it's actually for disabled.
Yes, severely disabled,
not behavioral.
No.
Okay.
And we, as part of the build up to the pay-per-view, we were going to be raising money to help McGuire Home. And so I had a bunch of people coming to me and saying, hey, we will do something at our business, and we'll do something at our business. We'd like to pitch in. And there was a restaurant that at the time, I forget the name of it, it's since changed hands a few times, but we had a wing eating contest. And so we sent like Big Dick Dudley, Bubba Ray Dudley. I think the Pitbulls might have been there. There were probably 7 or 8 of our guys there. I was not there. And I forget who it was that came back and said to me, like, they had this like look on their face, and they were like, yeah. I said, who won? And he said, you're not going to believe it. Like, he said, Joel Gertner was picking the wings up, putting them in his mouth and pulling just the bones out. And I guess he ate like 75 wings or something, and he won. He beat Big Dick and Bubba and all the rest of them. There you go. So, applying himself in a different way. But, again, if you go back to like the things, and I know I've said this on your show previously, Bill Watts saying that at Thanksgiving dinner, you don't want just a big pile of turkey, you want a little bit of everything. When I had left ECW to go to WWF and I came back, it was so different from what I had left. I mean, like really upside down different. Me, when I left, again, my pig-headedness was going to be the nose to the grindstone wrestling company. When I came back, there's a black guy and a white guy in the ring with fake glasses calling themselves brothers. You got Joel Gertner with his neck brace on, and pudgy little kid that in the ring there. And it was just so like, what the hell happened since I left? Then, getting my arrogance out of the way and watching the Dudleys work. Okay. And then watching the Eliminators work. Okay. And then watching, Joel deliver his promos. It was like, okay, maybe I'll shut up and back off a little bit here and learn. That really was a huge step up in the product that we were delivering at the end of the night. And in a way that was a little bit more mainstream to what the main companies were doing at that time. Not that we were copying, but a little more palatable and on the taste buds. If you're going to turn ECW on for the first time, instead of here, cut the fucking music and women getting bumped and everything else, now suddenly you have a little bit of entertainment involved in it. But when these guys go, they could go.